experimental. Makes sense, though. I can make 7 arguments for it, as I did in game. And at the same time, it's so difficult to prepare against. So it makes sense what we're seeing here. Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be our second battleground. It is going to be picked by KSV Black. First pick will go to Miracle. So let's see how this is played. This could be a map where we see that priority of Blaze and ETC again. I think this is going to be the best path and the path that these two teams are looking to take. Obviously, Blaze being banned by Miracle meant that KSV couldn't get both. In fact, they got neither because they denied the ETC, but this is the best map for that combo and for both heroes. So let's see if maybe even a Genji gets through this draft. Let's see what happens, G-Clef.
I would love if they continue to play not the exact same draft. It will be very hard, of course, with the new draft. But if they bring up the same team comp on this map, which they used to play Sake on Falstad on Spider Queen, which every other Korean teams would not play Falstad because these lanes are so close together. But KSV Black was the only team that was still using Falstad on this map.
That is true.
And just to change it up, just like I mentioned before, just put Sake and then Kyocha back on, and to show the world that they can have this kind of position swaps and still make it work.
I think it's going to depend so much on the draft. If I'm Miracle here, I think I'll ban Blaze again. Try to take the ETC first pick. If you're given Hanzo, if KSV Black leaves that open and you really want it, you can also take the Hanzo first. Didn't work out for you in the last game, and you're going to be up against an ETC if you do that. Okay, they're going to make this into 40 chess with the Uther ban. Genji gets banned, so now they can take the Blaze, give KSV Black ETC. The problem is then that you give Hanzo too. This was the very likely scenario, right? But now you give Hanzo and Malfurion if they're going to take over the ETC. This means, though, that Miracle can take that scary combo that's so powerful on this map, the ETC.
But Malfurion is not banned. That's the problem. They can be stopped with the CC. And Sake CC was on top even before those power slides. It's going to be the same thing for Blaze.
Yeah, I wonder if banning the Malfurion instead of the Uther might have been the better play.
If they wanted to go towards this path, I'm sure that was the better one.
Because now you've also kind of put your support pool down to Stukov or Rhaegar. Rhaegar better for the map, most would argue, but...
So they're into this point where they have to pick up ETC and a support before they lock in any DPS. Very likely before the second bin phase.
Let's see what they decide to run with here.
Of course, ETC early game so strong here.
Yeah, ETC Greymane I think is a good rotation. It's got a lot of damage. Stukov, similarly, can pair well with Blaze's stuns. You've got Tracer before the ban phase, and you've also removed that from KSV Black, so you get the Tracer no matter what. Is Tracer strong against Malfurion's heals? Absolutely, because he doesn't burst heal, he does slow heals, and Tracer with Stukov's silence to prevent escapes from heroes like Hanzo, or to prevent ice blocks from like somebody like Malfurion. Very powerful. I think the go-to pick for Black is going to be Tyrael again. I think Miracle should ban that, or I don't think the Tracer pick makes sense.
Yeah, when they pick, if they pick ETC, they have to use Garrosh as their second ban card. So I think they went around and waiting for what Black wants to do. As they have Hanzo Malfurion picked up, they still need the solo lane, the frontline tank, and the secondary DPS. Greymane ban.
Well, I was expecting a Greymane with the ETC. Ended up being the Tracer instead with Stukov. They ban the Garrosh, which means that
Black can just take ETC easily.
And they can take Tyrael as their final pick. They're going to take Tychus first.
I think that's a huge misspan there. They should have banned ETC, at least just ban ETC.
This almost feels like a respect ban, because even against Tracer, if the roots are pre-placed, you can toss a Tracer into a root, which can't do anything. But yeah, I agree. Or Tyrael. Tyrael's still available.
heroes available, but now you ban the Garrosh, which shows a soft counter against GTC, which pairs up with the silence from Lurking Arm from Stukov, and also the Pulse Bomb pretty well too.
Let's see what they lock in. I don't want to judge this decision yet. Let's see what their second DPS is going to be. Okay, so it's going to be Falstad.
And
Rich
Stitches.
Smiles. It's supposed to not be Judy on the Stitches, but it very well could be, given his proclivity and his past on the hero. But Stitches can work so well with Blaze and Stukov. The problem is again going to be the incredible front line of Tist.
And this is old. This is a very old Gorge and the Mighty Gust on the rest of the team.
Yeah. Plus you have the fact that this is Tomb of the Spider Queen, which means that the walls are going to last longer most of the time on this map because they don't go down early to an objective. The first objective is taken very late into the game in most cases, so you can use Gorge in a lane where the wall is still active, Gorge behind the wall, Gust. There's a lot of ways to get picks. I just feel like you're really grasping at straws. You're playing very gimmicky when you do this against a team that's so coordinated against this type of play. And you've got Tist on the ETC to threaten you in the early game. And Stitches does not have escapes. Stitches is going to be, if I had to be a betting man, the first person, the first hero to die in this game. Let's see how it pans out. It's a very disjointed draft, but there are ways to get picks in the early game to get ahead. And also if we go late game, those same picks are very strong because of long death times.
Yes, and they picked Falstad Stitches after banning Garrosh. And Garrosh alone with Wrecking Ball can kind of, not the, with the old Q could bring in and then toss, like a Gorge, but not the same anymore, but still a very similar tool with just skill shots when you have to use both heroics for it. That was a very weird decision of drafting from Miracle. Let's see what else they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to do something else.
Yeah, certainly could be. It's going to be Rich on Hanzo again, by the way. Just playing DPS once more. Which puts Tist into his normal spot, and Kyocha will be a solo laner again. Remember, Kyocha had an entire season played of solo laner? An entire season, so he's very familiar with the position. Another route here from Sake, going to be the first kill of the game. Not Stitches, though. Going to be a squishier target. That is the first to die.
Oh, slick move from Rich. Dodging that hook.
Right over the wall.
He knew that was coming.
This is a risky spot for Sniper to be in. Since it does get out of that power slide, that would have been potentially a kill there because resets Tychus will burn through the health pool of Stitches very quickly if you can chain those stuns into a root. Interesting build here for Kyocha as well, going to the heal at level 1 instead of the more Q-oriented build we've seen a lot of. Committing to the Pulse Bomb here.
I think he's willing to eat those pulse bombs.
Yeah, it's going to give you a lot more hero damage on the tab screen, but not much more than that.
As Judy is rotating around, not really finding a target. His best target is Hanzo, not really going up there at all.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird he's not going to the obvious target who was at the moment undefended. And also, it looks like he's just trying to farm Pulse Bomb now, but he didn't need to do that if he didn't use his Pulse Bomb earlier. It also makes Stitches much weaker when you use your Pulse Bomb like that because you don't have that burst damage to finish off the target that gets hooked. He has one nearly ready now, just again farming for it at the moment. As Rich is going between lanes. Falstad pushing top pretty heavily, but KSV Black will grab this neutral camp. H82 body blocked here by Tist. Is there enough damage coming through? Don't think so. Okay, there's the blow up kill. There's the pulse bomb that you need. That's when you have the kill confirmed when the health has already been burned down. Oh, Rich is probably going to get this. One more shot. Boom. Easy. Don't know how that started, that fight up there. We'll never know, but they make it a trade, I guess.
And Rich was going for that scatter arrow build. For that wave clear, and that's going to be even easier for him to clear all that wave and make Miracle lose that EXP. All that denied. And Falstad used the flight a few minutes ago. He was losing lane against Hanzo from the beginning. We didn't really catch that on screen, but You can see that off the minimap. So they're late on rotation. The wave clear is getting slower. But they can't really extend in lane. They got a kill on the ETC, so they're doing a camp. They're just using the time right now to just clear waves, soak EXP, trying to push forward what they can do right now.
Yeah. Both teams gonna look to grab night camps. KSV a little bit later, but gem control definitely over to KSV at the moment. Okay, pulse bomb connects. Rich is gonna die. Finally, they do make this happen.
Nice catch.
That's whether you got to save those pulse bombs for. Exactly what I'm talking about. Squishy hero like that doesn't matter if he's high mobility with his jumping over walls. If he has a pulse bomb on him, that pulse bomb goes over the wall with him. So Rich will respawn in just a moment as they clear this night camp, but they're lucky that Miracle does not have enough gems. They're just 4 short at the moment.
Seems like Judy really improved on his Tracer already. I could see his movement so much lighter. That was the first time I thought Tracer was heavy in her moving when Judy played Tracer last time. But this time really making it work on the Spider Queen's second game.
Yeah. Well, Judy is playing with fire here in this position. Does end up sneaking by. Okay, HA2 with a stun here. Pulse Bomb is ready now. Not going to be able to make anything happen though, unfortunately. Not with this push. Web Weavers come through for KSV despite that pick. The Knights coming in later for KSV Black ended up working really well for them to help control mid. So, and they got the turn in top while Judy was trying to watch bottom. So KSV Black kind of sneaks this one through with that Night Camp, and now going to push closer to 10.
Sometimes what you can do if that matchup's really tough, you can swap and make Falstad come to the bottom lane instead and go against Leoric, because Rich will be poking out and Falstad will be losing many of the flight if he has to hard back from so many times. But they're not really making that rotational change yet, as basically they're losing this lane phase. I think that had to be done before.
Again, Rich is solo in the top lane, all by himself.
And Falstad can't really...
Yeah, but like, Judy had a pulse bomb. He used it on Leoric, who was walking into the gate. Had he held it, he could have been threatening Rich right now if he took the long way around. Look at where Rich is. In fact, he's still under duress now that Jaehyun's here. He might actually die. Jan must have used a silence already. That was a close call. Imagine if there was a pulse bomb up there a while back. Would have been a different story. Either way, now Miracle just needs to make sure they don't get double turned in. They have enough for a turn in themselves, as the glow indicates on screen. You guys can see that. All they need is H82 to toss these in, and it's a done deal. But KSV Black is looking to get 10 right before that to secure their double turn in.
Falstad had a chance to turn it in, but I don't think he has enough gems, because once he died, and also he was denied so many times, he couldn't really pick up any gems anyhow from Hanzo.
Yeah, he was zoned out super hard.
Only holding 8, not enough for a 10.
Only H82 has it.
H82 is trying, but Fist is already there. And meanwhile, Hanzo is with the scatter arrow. It's going to be so easy to take out all the camps alone.
Yeah, even with its nerf, it's still pretty strong. 10's up is going to be Entomb. Dragon's Arrow coming out, by the way. Long range. Not exactly what they were looking for there. The Entomb a bit late to try to pair with that one, but still Sniper's caught here. Does have that extra healing coming from the bio kill switch. Silence was late, so end up surviving through this, but KSV Black bought enough time to nearly have that 55 turn in. Miracle's
Look at that, Rich is willing to duel Tracer 1v1, and Tracer's about to die off screen.
Rich is also very low. I think that enough auto attacks would actually finish him. Meanwhile, Blaze does go down. We didn't end up seeing the end of the dual bot lane, but it doesn't actually end up being a kill. This is disastrous for Miracle. They barely have enough for a turn in now. They're down a member.
Just opportunity.
Doesn't commit. Oh, well, commits this time.
Only for Sake. Does not have ice block yet.
Oh, that was a really good shove. Otherwise, Sniper probably would have died.
Ooh, if that hook landed on Tist.
Yeah.
That could have been a follow-up kill with some CC available.
So that was huge. Gust opportunity, as you call out, is what is going to very likely help Miracle get this turn in finally. It's not necessarily going to be the case yet. Everyone's poised to slow this down. Malfurion up in 3. Sake is going to rush back to the scene. He's actually probably the best at delaying with his Moonfire. Okay, here comes a Pulse Bomb that'll kill Leoric. Very well done. Finally here for Judy, going to get that pulse kill, and it is going to be a web weaver, so they denied the double. A very good play coming through from Falstad.
And it is going to be the kidnap combo that we call it here.
Yep.
With the gust, gorge, and massive shove. It's going to be either you get one or you get two at least. And they also have the bunker as their defensive tool here.
Yeah, I think the bottom wall might still be up, so that's a huge opportunity for gorge as well. Okay, here's the first gorge.
Onto ETC.
No gust though. Sniper out of position for it.
Not really going to commit in as ETC was the target.
That's all right. No heroics committed to for Black. It's a big, good trade for Black, but at the same time, Miracle bought some time with this. This top push is going to clear another mini wave, going to help hurt those forts. But if you look at the fort health across the board, obviously KSV Black got much more out of their first web weaver turn in. However, no forts down for Miracle, so the experience is actually fairly even with those towers taken down now for Miracle. And both teams have a turn-in available. This is going to be the turning point in this game. Okay, HA2 body blocked out. Bunker has to be used. There's a root on top of it. He can kite in and out of the bunker, but there's not much he can do afterwards. Judy's positioning, though, does force KSV Black to back off for a second. Sniper looks for the gust to save HA2. He will get away. Kyocho with the entomb, and the arrow connects. But this is a kill for Miracle. They do get the damage done. CC is not enough to win a fight if you don't have the damage. Miracle certainly did.
Gorge was available, but he didn't really commit in to grab that Odin. I guess one kill was enough for them to get the 13, but they're not really turning it in. Actually, Black's getting the chance.
Yeah, everyone on Miracle was low for a second, but because they have Stukov, they should be healed up and ready to go now to continue to contest. Kyocha has respawned as well.
Oh, Tust has that launch
triple!
Triple here. Not really canceled. The silence is working out for the Miracle here.
Silence so good there, just to prevent the retreat and also for that extra damage. H82 trying to hide behind this fort, but it's not very healthy. Kyocha will go down here to the fort. It looks like actually it's going to be Tracer who gets the kill. But HA2 just uses this bunker to retreat. He gets out, but this is going to be another Web Weaver push for KSV Black. They're going to grab this Night Camp. And with already so much damage done to the top fort, that one is dead for sure. Might get some damage done to the keep wall. This is a really fantastic position for Black now.
Oh man, Miracle had all that chance, but Tis was waiting for that perfect moment for a mosh pit. It's been a while we saw a full
first mosh
pit.
of the day.
Yes, full mosh, not even cancelled in the middle. They had all the CC right after the chain CC with the entangling root coming up from Sake, of course. Well, they don't have too much CC, I guess, to cancel that mosh pit. A massive shove and gust.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to make those things work, especially if you know, some of those heroes are caught in the mosh pit themselves, but that was just a really good angle set up by KSV Black. So they're going to push the bot lane the hardest because it's the one that's going to be the most difficult to get a fort with. And so the top lane will naturally push up. Stun coming through from Hanzo here. Not going to be able to have a follow-up. But the top will naturally push, mid will naturally push, so they're going to get damage done to potentially 2 keep walls, whereas this one is escorted to keep wall. Here's the Entomb, Gust and Shove for this engage. Lyric is in another dimension after that one. But look at the healthiness of the top Web Weaver. It's up there, it's pushing towards keep wall, forcing a rotation, which means that KSV Black can now... I thought they were going to try to capitalize on this moment and damage the keep wall themselves in bot, but try to make it a more even spread. Head to boss. They have 16 versus 14. Gust is on cooldown. What can Miracle do to contest this? I don't know if they even can. I think it might just simply have to let this go.
Yeah, they took all the heroics so that they can grab one, get the kill. So they're not really thinking about this kind of small choke point fight. That's going to be great for Rich to have all those scatter arrow damage.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very fast boss clear.
So basically, KSV knew that Miracle cannot contest against this boss or any kind of camp unless they really overextend in a way. But that was an easy boss for KSV Black.
Well, now KSV Black going to push for this keep. They have Hanzo and Tychus, so they've got a lot of siege with the Odin, especially now, to knock this fort, or excuse me, this keep down.
Hook misses, does not really find the target target was supposed to be Sake, but even Sake has an ice block now, so the best target will be Hanzo alone. Kyocha trying to pressure in with the walk, does have the Entomb available.
Now don't forget that after this, they can just back off and grab Web Weavers. Miracle has to stay and defend. HA2 is going to try to get into position to try to delay. But ends up getting pushed back here. In fact, nearly loses his life.
After those piercing arrows at 16, Hanzo gets so much more damage potential. Is incredible. If you're stuck in this small zone, if you take multiple damage, even as a tank, even as Diablo or Johanna, you will get deleted off a few skill shots of Hanzo.
Yeah. Especially when a few auto attacks are coming in right afterwards. Okay, this is
Kyocha gets grabbed again.
Yeah, this is the least juicy target, obviously. Entomb is up. This is a very narrow choke point they're all in. Arrow is up as well. Rich could go for a stun here. Okay, not going to happen. Not going to be necessary. They already got the Web Weavers. Top with 2 catapults will push for core. And they can actually secure all 3 keeps with this. Look at what Reset's doing, prepping the bot wave to guarantee that the 3rd keep goes down. They're going to push mid. So basically they're ensuring that this is going to be catapults for the rest of the game if they don't win it here.
They want to get the maximum poke along with that Hanzo. They're trying to punish that Hanzo from Tracer, but it has happened before. Making it really hard. Staying next to ETC now all the time. Sake also providing some healing from the back line. There you go, even Kyocha coming in as the other lanes are also pressured with the Web Weavers.
Yeah.
This is going to be the 2nd keep. Are they willing to just let this go?
I mean, the thing is, like, they committed to the bot keep for some reason. Defending the bot keep, I'm talking about Miracle, of course, which means the top Web Weaver is very healthy. It's going to be a 3rd catapult on the core here in a second. Looks like Black's not willing to commit. Oh, I take it back. They actually mount up and go forward, not backwards. Huge stun here. Gust for the disengage, but it's too late. Mosh, uninterruptible.
Uninterruptible, but no damage follow. Some damage. It was very late, so it's actually a good trade for Miracle right now.
Pulse onto Kyocha is going to help kill him here. So this is actually going to be Miracle winning the fight. Will they be able to defend their core, though, is the bigger question.
Reset is too healthy and goes in for the kill, grabs it.
Oh, great Twilight Dream there to help the retreat, as now so many catapult minions on this core. Black, I don't think, can win here, but they can damage the core just slightly, like get it down to maybe 80, best case scenario, and then leave.
It was not a core call, but they pushed in. I was also thinking they were just going to go back and soak for 20 and then push in for the next one because they don't have enough gems, but it was enough of a push. It was a good trade for them. Did some damage to the core. Got a good trade for 2-2. They hit 20 now, and are they pushing it for the 3rd keep?
Yeah, well, looks like that's what they want. Gorge comes in here, but I don't know if it's really going to be worth it. Reset dashes away.
They do have
Rich
Gush.
is deep in here. They have Gust indeed. Kyocha gets out. Judy's on the chase. Is going to get Kyocha. He's slowed. Scatter arrows nearly kill him. There's the grenade to get the kill. And I think they can just core from here. Odin's popped. Night Camp on core. Siege minions, or sorry, catapult minions coming through. How is a Miracle going to hold this? They only have Gust really as a disengaged tool with Fall Stack. Doesn't have 20 either for Wind Tunnel or anything like that. Core down to 83%. Shove, that's one way to buy some time. ETC's
out,
way
and
far away.
They still have Gust available, so they can buy some more time, but too much damage, and they're way too healthy. There's that disengage.
Okay, Gust is already used now. Not good enough, I don't think. 2 catapults about to arrive. They're not hitting the core, though. Okay, KSV Black is just trying to force this in. Sniper took so much damage there with the grenade and the scatter. That's going to be game. A long and arduous push here for KSV Black to take game 2, take the lead in this series. Wasn't easy, but they make it happen here with a very tough, slow, but methodical push. Never willing to give up. That's KSV Black to a T. A lot of other teams would have walked away to play it safe, like you say, take the level 20 advantage and just push to win later with the catapult advantage they had, but KSV Black never gives teams a chance to come back.
Still, that was one of the better games from Miracle, I would say. They were up on the rotation. Judy played his best Tracer so far, and he was really aggressive getting those kills. Kyocha kind of feeded a lot in that game. Leoric died about, couldn't really count, 5-6 times, maybe even more.
Yeah, it's a lot of deaths. He was playing very aggressively and very greedily, and Judy had his number on that. So he spent a lot of time dead, that's for sure. But
But he
he's
was also
Leoric.
eating. He was also eating up the pulse bomb instead, which could have been Hanzo could have been the better target, but he was dying instead. So overall for the team, it was worth it, and he also got his trade. Of course, if they
Trade
delay,
value, you
yeah,
know.
trade value, yeah, all works out for KSP Black.
Well, that was a pretty straightforward game two. Very much closer than expected, but pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
And the boss, I think, was really the big turning point because that they had so much control of the lanes. Miracle couldn't contest that. They didn't have the heroics, like you said. You made a really good point. They didn't choose the heroics that allow controls of zones like bosses. So there's just no way to come in there. And they had all lanes pushing over and over and over again. And there was one moment right before the second to last turn-in for KSV where Miracle lost 2 members, didn't have enough for their own turn-in. So even though they got some counter kills afterwards, they didn't have enough gems for a turn-in. The game was just never. They're able to grab back onto the game from there. The Stitches pick, despite we had a few cool hooks, mostly wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tracer pick didn't do anything with his comp. And we talk about how Sake likes to play Falstad on this map, and he's really good at it. Sniper is another one of those players that likes that same style. But he just couldn't make this Falstad pick worth it. It was only disengaged Gus minus that one attempted kill that he flanked with, which actually worked really well for them. It was mostly him just cleaning up mini waves, never split soaking, never split pushing. They were always behind. When you're behind, Falstad obviously is harder to use, but in this case, it just felt like the pick didn't work out.
It was really tough to starting from the solo lane. He was forward to hard back him from all the poking coming out from Hanzo. He was up against Rich, of course. With a global, did it help too much? Maybe coming back into lane. Maybe if he had swapped the solo lane from the beginning of the game, I think he could have had an easier time actually pushing the lane. Not against Hanzo, against Leoric. When they were trying to focus on Leoric, I think the focus should have been the other way. They swapped the lane and then trying to have the pulse bomb onto Hanzo, really force him back, let him die, really cut down on their wave clear also, because the Hanzo went full scatter arrow build. Also, I think that could have been a better decision to start off the game, but Miracle still had a pretty good game regardless against KSP Black.
It was their best game against them in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of 3-0s throughout 2017, and this is the first of 2018. I don't know how scrims are going between these two teams, but at least given the draft too, which I thought was compared to Black's very weak, it was pretty impressive. We don't know where we're going for Game 3 just yet, guys.